Now, tips and tricks. This is basically getting into how you want to set up your home theater and what are the connections that you make. Let's quickly dive into tips and tricks on how you'll actually set up your home theater. So I've got an explanation on once you've purchased everything, how do you go about? So you have your, you unbox everything, you have your AVR placed where you want it to be, and then you take your speaker cables, which as I recommended should be oxidation free and should be thick, at least 14 gauge or 15 gauge. Don't buy the slim cables because then you'll not have a lot of power going to your speakers. And connect them to your speakers and have your height channels also connected. Just make sure that you read the back of the amplifier to what channel has to connect to what speaker. You'll have front, left, and right, center channels, surround back, and the height is generally noted by front height, surround height, or in some amplifiers it can be front presence, rear presence. Then comes connecting your subwoofer. Use we call it a digital coaxial cable. Most people refer to it as a subwoofer cable. The technical term is digital coaxial. It is a single RCA pin to single RCA pin, one connector to one connector. A lot of our customers ask us, Karan, I have two inputs behind my subwoofer. That generally is a line level input. You should search for the LFE port on your subwoofer. LFE port is low frequency effect. It will always be single channel, and behind your amplifier, you will have one or two outputs for subwoofer. This is for different woofers. As I said, most amplifiers can do two channels of subwoofer. So one wire, one termination pin to the subwoofer's LFE connection. Really wanted to clear this out because a lot of people have these doubts. Then comes your sources, your Tata Sky, Blu-ray, PlayStation, Apple TV, Fire Stick. You will use a good quality 4K pass-through and 18 gigabit support HDMI cable that will connect into the inputs behind the AVR. You have about 4 to sometimes 8 inputs behind the AVR, and these are programmable, which means that HDMI 1 can be specifically named to what device you are using. You can call it a Fire Stick, you can call it Game Station, PlayStation, anything. A lot of these devices automatically detect the name. So I always recommend to connect all the sources to your AVR so you can quickly switch between them or ask Alexa or Google if it is supported to switch between them. Then you take an HDMI cable, which again supports the same 4K and 18 gigabits, and connect it from the HDMI out on the AVR to your display, which could either be a projector or it could be a smart TV or a general TV. If it is a smart TV, you may have your source in the smart TV. By this, I mean that Netflix, Amazon Prime is not coming from here. It is coming from the TV's inbuilt apps. So, how do we get the audio back into our amplifier? Well, there is a term called ERC and EARC. EARC stands for enhanced and ARC stands for audio return channel. So via the same HDMI cable that we have connected into the TV for the output, it will send the audio signal back into the AVR. For this, you have to note that your AVR's HDMI output should support ARC or EARC, and your TV port, the HDMI port, has to also support ARC. A lot of times you have to check behind your TV. The HDMI 1 and 2 does not support ARC, but 3 or 4 does. So you have to see where ARC is written. If you ask me what is the difference between ARC and EARC, enhanced ARC will allow the pass with the return actually of uncompressed audio. Right now, what we are hearing on ARC is compressed. So you're not having lossless content going back to your AVR. It is somewhat compressed. Now, there is no real devices that have come out with EARC. Soon they will be coming out, but most amplifiers since about 2 years are already supporting the EARC feature. So the AVRs are future proof. Very soon we will have eARC as a feature on the smart TVs, which will help you send back enhanced audio channel. Now, finally, is use your remote and calibrate your system. These dedicated home theater systems are not like Sony or your Samsung plug and play devices. They have settings for crossovers, they have delays, they have configurations, they have size of speakers. All these settings can be physically put into input on your AVR via the remote, and you also have auto calibration devices available these days with the AVRs. I do not really recommend them because sometimes they can give vague uh, measurements. So I would recommend you download an SPL meter app, which is a sound pressure level meter, and measure the frequencies yourself, but calibrate your system.